I'm here today to chat with you about consistency. And what I'm talking about here is that when we lose consistency, so something happens, right? Maybe we get derailed in our life. Either we catch a cold, or maybe we have to take our kids to the doctor. Maybe they've broken an arm, or something's happened to our cat or our dog, and our whole day gets derailed. Maybe we woke up, we missed our alarm, and we're rushing through the morning, right? Lots of things come into our lives that throw us off track. Right? That's the norm. That's how it goes, right? That happens to me, that happens to my family, that happens to everyone, right? We're going along, we have a great plan, and then sometimes something happens that diverts us. So if you're someone who feels like you're consistent for a period of time, and then something throws you off and you lose that consistency, maybe you lose a bit of momentum, and you can easily get into that downward spiral where that momentum got lost maybe for a day, maybe for 2 days, and then suddenly you're in it and you're like, oh, well, what the hell, I'm gonna just stop for the whole week, right? So if you're one of those people that you feel like you're on again, off again, you're on the wagon, you're off the wagon, right? And you find it difficult to stick with stuff and stick with some consistent routine in your life as far as your health and wellness routines, I've got 5 tips for you that I hope will help you when you are feeling that lack of consistency, okay? So number 1, plan ahead, right? When we plan ahead, we can stick with routines a lot easier, right? If we've planned ahead, we will prepare those healthy snacks. We'll make sure our water bottle's full. We'll lay out our workout clothes the night before. We'll have things in place that make sticking to those routines easier. If we're constantly rushing and forgetting things, or we know we leave the house in the morning with not enough healthy options or good food choices that we want to eat, we're likely to go to, fast food or grab something from a vending machine. So a little prep goes a long way. So when we're prepared for whatever it is that we've got going on, if we get derailed a little bit, we can easily pull back and go, okay, I'm ready for this. Give me whatever you got. I'm good, right? I've prepared, I've planned ahead, I'm good, and I'll get back on track a lot faster. Right? So that's number 1, planning ahead. Number 2 is take action on one thing, right? We can't make change or see progress if we take action on 10 things at once, right? It's too much. It's too overwhelming. If I told you to, let's drink 8 cups of water today, let's go to the gym 6 days a week, let's have salads for the next, every day for lunch for the next week. If I told you to do all of these things at once and make major changes in your life at one time, it's too much and we can't manage it. And then we lose momentum and we lose that consistent routine because it just becomes too overwhelming. So pick one thing that you want to change. Get that going. If it's after a week, maybe 2 weeks in, you're like, man, that really is becoming a habit. That's becoming consistent in my life. I'm ready for the next thing. Then you layer on number 2, and then you layer on number 3. And eventually you've done those 10 things to get you to the goal that you want, but you didn't do it with an overwhelming sense of stress, right? We did it really methodically. We did one thing at a time that we felt we could stick with. And that's when it becomes consistent and it becomes a habit. Okay, so that's number 2. Take action on one thing, not 10, just one. Number 3, do it even if you don't feel like it. So this one is really about exercise. And I talk to my clients about this all the time. If you show up for yourself and you get into something for 5 minutes and you don't want to do it anymore, walk away. But the likelihood of you feeling good and wanting to continue, you've got your clothes on, you've got your runners on, whatever it is, you head out for a walk, the likelihood of you turning around and coming back is pretty slim. Because once you get going, you start feeling good. And then you're like, wow, what the heck, I can go for 10 minutes. Oh, I can go for 20, this is no big deal, right? So on those days when you're feeling that lack of consistency, you're feeling like you've been derailed and you have something that you really want to do, once you have that window of time to do it, even if you feel like you don't want to, I encourage you to do it anyway. And if you get into it and it's still not feeling good, then you walk away, it's not the right day. But try it anyway. It can be a meditation, it could be exercise, it could be making a healthy meal, whatever it is. Give yourself that 5 minutes to get started, and if it's not happening, then you have the ticket to walk away. Okay? But you probably won't. All right, so that's number 3. Number 4, do what you love because you're likely to stick with it. That will create more consistency. If I told you to go to the gym 5 days a week because I thought that was the best thing, and you hate the gym and you don't want to go do weights and you don't like it, you're not going to stick with it, right? So that consistency isn't going to be there because you don't want to do it in the first place. So when I ask, when I speak to audiences, I say, what type of exercise is the best thing we can do? And I get walking and I get stretching and people put up their hand and say all these different things. But what it comes down to is the best type of exercise you can do is the thing that you love. Do the thing you enjoy because you're going to stick with it. It's going to become a habit. It's going to become consistent, right? If we're doing things that we love. So I encourage you to do that. Whether it's you love to cook, well, make that a consistent practice, right? And find that time to do that thing consistently. Do what you love and source out the other things or get support for them if you're having challenges. If rest is a challenge for you, if finding connection is a challenge for you, if there's things in your life that those aren't your areas of expertise or not the strong suits in your life, source out those things to people that can coach you, that can mentor you, that can help you to make them a bigger part of your world. Okay? So that's number 4. Do what you love because you're way more likely to stick with it. All right, tip number 5. Own the process. So what do I mean by that? What's owning the process? That is looking at the process that it's stepping stones to where you want to go. Instead of looking at that end result and going, oh my God, that's so daunting. I don't know how I'm going to get there. This feels really stressful. And then we get paralyzed and we do nothing, right? We don't take action. We don't get back on the wagon if we've fallen off. It feels too daunting. It's too hard, right? But if we own the process, we own our choices every day, and we look at it from that perspective, we are in charge of getting ourselves to where we want to go. Right? Then we feel better about that. We own it. We're like, yes, I got myself there. And I feel proud of myself for taking action regularly to get where I want to be, to feel better, right? Or whatever it is, improvement in your life, whatever it is. I heard an interesting story and I thought it really resonant for this tip. When we have something in mind, let's say, I'm going to use a trip, for example, right now, because we can, most of us are not traveling anywhere. Let's say we're getting excited to go on a vacation and the vacation is 3 months from now. The excitement builds up as we get closer to that vacation, right? So the excitement builds up because there's that thing that we're going to go do. The process before we actually go and do that thing is actually just as exciting as doing the thing because it's the lead up. It's the thing that we're looking forward to. So if you have a goal in mind that's down the road that you want to work towards, own that process. Enjoy the process that gets you there, because when you get there, you're going to feel fantastic, but it's the process that took a lot longer to get you to that one point, right? Hope that's making sense for all of you. So let's do a little recap here on how do we create consistency, right? There's 5 things that we can do. 1, we can plan ahead, right? We can plan ahead. Number 2, we can take action on one thing. Get that thing in place, make it a habit, make it consistent, add on your next thing. 3rd thing we can do the thing we love, right? Do the thing we love. That's number 3. Number 4, do it even if you don't feel like it, because the likelihood of you continuing is good, okay? And number 5, own the process, because the end result's going to be way more rewarding when you feel empowered to own that process that got you where you want to be, okay? Hope these tips were super helpful for you to create more consistency. If you're looking for more support, please reach out to me. I'm happy to jump on a consult call, have a chat about your health and well-being and how I can help you be more consistent. All right, have a wonderful day.